Okay. I really do hate to say that I think this is going to have to be the last time I try this, because it is already 40 minutes into my stream, and I have not been able to successfully fix this. I've changed some of the settings. It might be a little smaller file. It might not be as pretty looking, but maybe, just maybe, it will not suck so hard. I'm guessing this might be a Twitch issue, because either that or it's a problem with our network. I'm not sure. So far, so good. Okay. I mean, I just saw a little uptick of things here. So far, we might be okay. 6% dropped frames I can take. But refresh my dashboard. Okay, I think it's better. I think it's better. Yeah, I think this is better. I think we can do this. Seem to be hitting my targets. The revised lower ones, but targets nonetheless. Okay. Let's go with this and see what happens. Yeah? Let's go with this and see what happens. Worst case, it falls apart and we just end like I was about ready to anyway. Running out of other ideas, so. Damn it. I toasted these Parmesan bread bites and now they're too hard. Why is this not opening? Oh. I'm waiting for this to start. I'm having so many technical problems right now. This is brilliant. What's going on? Why are you not launching? We're updating. Ah. Apparently the game needed an update. I didn't know it would need an update. None of them ever have, really. Now we just have to wait the 2 to 3 minutes or so for it to finish. As it eats up whatever bandwidth is left on my network. That is a surprisingly good and easy drink. It's not quite a margarita, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted a margarita tonight. Unfortunately, I do not have the stuff to make a margarita. In a little while. Oh, no worries at all. It sounds like it's a very common problem, and I have been forewarned. My boyfriend has let me know that there are a lot of weird quirks and dumb things in The Sims that I'm not going to be able to get around, and I think that's just one of them. Um, I'm not entirely sure why it's like that. I'm going to chalk that up to the same issue of resized rugs not being able to be placed without the move objects on cheat, which is a weird one. But yeah, I am kind of amazed. I don't know. Sims 4 has improved on the Sims games, build wise, at least, building and decorating wise, in certain ways that I find very good. You know, but I am very much of the opinion that you should not have to use cheats to have basic functionality. That's a sign that the game is broken. The cheats are there to break the game, not to fix the problems with the coding, you know? And that's kind of what it feels like now playing it. And yeah, I totally get just playing with that cheat on. I'm so hesitant to do so because even though I feel like I have no interest in actually playing the game, I managed to hit the mute button before that hit. Ugh. Even though I don't really plan to actually play the game in any way, I am trying to build and decorate this house in a way that a sim would be able to use. Like I would be able to play if I wanted to. I just don't think I'm going to. And it is. I'm trying to do that without the move objects on cheat, where things like pathways are a problem. I don't know. It's a janky operating system. That's a good way to look at it, I think. That's a good way to look at it. It is truly a janky operating system. You are correct. I'm currently staring at a black screen. The mouse is visible. There's that. Huh. It's like administrator privileges. That's fair. I get that. I'm still of the opinion that like you shouldn't have to do that. Happening with this game. Now the game won't start. I swear, the universe is telling me not to stream today. That's what this is. I mean, the other alternative is that we end up streaming the fucking Sims, because that's a possibility. I could just do that. The problem is that when I stream the Sims, I like playing with not the Sims music because I kind of hate the Sims 4 soundtrack a little bit. I don't like it. I much prefer Sims 2 and 3. And 1, actually. So I actually have a playlist of like just build mode by mode from Sims 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's how I do it. I do build mode. I do move objects off until I absolutely need it, and then once I do, I will use it just for when I need it. All right, this obviously is not working. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but the game is not running, so I need to find... Why in the fuck does Microsoft Edge have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 processes running? The fuck is that for? I don't even use this browser. Stop using my fucking resources, you hog. Oh god, I really need to find a way to clean up what's going on in this thing, because this is a mess. I don't even use Edge. I have it installed on my computer to install other browsers. That is literally the entire purpose of it. All right, I will try and run the game again. Made with Unity splash screen, okay. E10 plus for interactive splash. Okay, this is more promising than it was before. The problem with all of this is that I'm troubleshooting all of this while my food is getting cold. Because I would normally be eating when someone is talking, or I'm clearly doing something that requires some concentration, so I can kind of eat mindlessly and listen and have you listen, and there isn't just dead silence on the thing. But right now, all right, okay, it's not a black screen this time, at least. It's just a fucking loading screen. Wait. The cursor came in. All right, here we go. Holy shit. We are finally here at almost 9 o'clock p.m. Jesus Christ. All right. I swear to God. All right. Where we left off is that we were trying to get all of the lost Marius cards. Secretary desk. There are other things that are in Leo's office. So just gonna snoop around a little bit, I think. Okay. Let's just have his contact info now. Aha. And that is indeed a phone number. Hello. Boop.
Locked.
Well, password then? Ah, we're snooping in the mail now.
It's locked.
It's locked. My friend, as I'm leaving for Rome, I trust you will take good care of my beloved Marias. Here's a short list of my regular tasks. Ensure she has fresh food and water, her bowls are clean, clean her litter box, spend time with her daily, keep indoors. Time, health. Bowls booked from the lower shelves, you have to put them back sometimes. It's about a cat. Alright. Federal crimes, I know. Well, I don't know. Is it a crime to open someone else's mail and... Oh. So much for it being locked.
Like he and Oscar have a history.
Oscar Dvorak. So, okay, this is a thing that I've been a little frustrated by.
That? This door's not locked.
Have not actually said anything until recently. So, famous Czech composer from the late 1800s even came to the United States to set up a conservatory, which is now defunct, and is in some ways credited with establishing a American classical sound. You know, kind of snowballed into John Williams and Aaron Copland and Charles Ives, creating this classical national focused sound, which he did for Czechoslovakia at the time. This was before the split into the Czech Republic and Slovakia. So Czechoslovakia, the Czech people, he created a sound that felt like it was Czech, but was still classical music. It was still art music. And his name is Antonin Dvorak. Dvorak. Now, to be fair, the R and the A have some fun notations on them. I do not remember what the one over the R is called. It's a little like chevron. But the A is an accent. And at least, I admit this is an American pronunciation. I have listened to some Czech pronunciations by native Czech speakers, and it is slightly different. But for the most part, it is a decent approximation for us in the English-speaking, the Anglophone world to say Antonin Dvorak. Okay? Kind of like a zh sound where the R is, Dvorak. And it is the accent of the A elongates the A. That's kind of what it does. It doesn't make it a focus. It doesn't it does not create a stress over that syllable. And so it bothers me that in this game they are saying Oscar Dvorak. They're just pronouncing it like Dvorak. And I mean, at least they're doing the D and the V properly, because it is supposed to be like, there's not supposed to be anything really in between it. Even I guess saying Dvorak, it's like Dvorak. We're kind of saying 3 syllables when it's meant to be 2. Dvorak, so it's supposed to be like I can't even really do it. There really isn't supposed to be anything in between the D and the V. There it is. Yeah. Ahajek. That's what it's called. Because yes, the kind of standard overall linguistic term that we would use would be a brave, but Ahajek is what the Czech call it, and it is a big deal, I guess. Where even Czech children need to learn how to pronounce things with this over it. Whereas, and it's interesting because there's a whole bunch of interesting stuff. I've seen a lot of this recently, actually. There's been several, I don't know why TikTok shows this to me, but TikTok has been showing me a lot of like Europeans being assholes about the United States content. Not necessarily the Europeans posting themselves, is showing me the American response in a lot of cases. Mostly Americans showing the usually British, but Europeans that they're fucking idiots, for lack of a better term, offending all of the Europeans in my audience that are not watching. But it's interesting because one of the big sticking points for some Europeans is how we pronounce European borrowed words. Things like and it's weird who gets offended by this. I have to also add that, because one of the ones that's come up within the last month is croissant. Okay, and we say croissant like croissant. And according to the British, not the French, mind you, we're pronouncing it wrong. That we're supposed to pronounce it like it's pronounced by the French. We are supposed to say like croissant. And it just doesn't really work. And it's a little weird, especially because, yes, we are pronouncing croissant with an American accent, but you don't change your accent to pronounce other cultures' words, other languages' words. Like that would be too much of a mess. And this ties into a lot of the England versus the United States, American English versus British English, and I am finding myself far more landing on the side of American English. It's just so funny to me because the English are so mad that we pronounce things differently than they do, and are adamant, it seems, that they pronounce it correctly because it is English. Therefore, it is, you know, its roots are in England and they are the correct ones because they are the English. However, a lot of the words that they have issue with, especially, are words that we actually pronounce the older versions of, because the British changed how they pronounce things in the 19th century to be different. That's literally what, like, one of the some of the interesting things, like herb, right? We say the word herb when we're talking about things like, well, this hilariously, I have rosemary right here because someone left rosemary at the library at our like free library thing, right? So this would be to an American an herb, but to the British it is a herb with a hard H, right? You actually pronounce the H, whereas we do not. The thing is that herb is a borrowed word from the French, and pronouncing it herb is closer to French than it is to what the English say, which is herb, right? The reason they say herb is because in the 19th century they decided they wanted to be different. But, you know, and what's the other one that's terribly interesting? Oh, so soccer and football. I found out a whole bunch of interesting things about this before. So much of the world calls it football, and we're one of the few countries that call it soccer. There are other countries that call it soccer or something close to it, but it all stems from a kind of way of approaching this term and shortening this term in the 19th century again. So it was, you know, it is originally called football, okay, you know, and it was called association football specifically. And I guess upper class public school boys would take words, the first syllable of a word, and add ER to it to kind of make this cutesy slang term for it. And so association football would have been Asser. Obviously, they weren't going to use that because that's profane. So they used the second syllable, association, right? SOC. And they made the C, instead of a soft C, they made it a hard C, sock. And then they just added ER, soccer. So the word soccer, to refer to the game that Americans refer to as soccer and the rest of the world refers to as football, actually originates from England and was the original name of the sport. At some point, the British decided, once we had picked up the word soccer, the British decided we don't want to be associated with the Americans, so they changed it to football. Fun fact. So it's things like this, right? Things like this that, like, I understand that we speak, when we speak and we say a word from another language, we are filtering it through our own set of sounds, vocal sounds that we know and we can hear and we can rationalize. And what's interesting about that from a linguistics perspective, which I have also gleaned from TikTok, is that I think it's at a very, very young age, like before the age of 5 even, you very quickly learn, the human brain very quickly loses the ability to distinguish between certain sounds that are not native to the language that is being spoken around you. And so things like Dvorak are still a filtering through an American English, you know, thing, but, you know, that is one of the reasons why some British people struggle with American accents and why we struggle sometimes with British accents. You know, it's a different set of vocal sounds that we focus on and we kind of live within. And when you are then forced later in life past that point where you can no longer distinguish the difference, sometimes it becomes very difficult to get that back. All of this to say, you pronounce his name Oscar Dvorak, and why they're going around saying Oscar Dvorak. Yeah. Anyway, let me catch up with some chat, because I just went on a fucking long screed about this. A French waiter, and it was Paris, and yeah, the Parisians are assholes. Absolutely, absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely. You know, it's funny too, because the Olympics are in Paris right now, right? And I even saw just on Twitter today, and yeah, I'm on that dead platform, I know. Someone I follow who occasionally posts like gay porn directly onto my feed, and I'm just like, can we not? But like, he posted a thirst trap kind of picture of a guy standing or sitting. It was apparently someone somewhat famous. I don't recognize them. They must either be internet famous or porn famous, neither of which I know enough of. And he was sitting in front of the Eiffel Tower, right? And like the caption, the quote retweet that he had added was something like, "Now you can be pregnant too," right? Okay, fine, whatever. I feel like I am increasingly lonely in that while I would love to go to Paris at some point in my life, it is dropping quickly on my list of places I want to go. Like, bit of the people, bit of the culture, I don't know. I feel like the city of romance, the city of lights, is losing some of that luster very quickly the older I get and the more I learn about the French and very specifically Parisians. I don't know. It's funny to me that, like, once upon a time I was so dead set on going to the continent and doing a like 1 week. This was a dumb idea of mine. It was when I was in grad school. I wanted to do a spring break trip and actually do a spring break trip, right? I never did one. Like, up to that point, all 5 years that I was in undergrad and then grad school, every time I had spring break, I went home. I went back to New Hampshire, or, you know, in the case of my first 4 years, I went back home from the other side of the state. And like, I wanted to do this week-long trip where I bookended between Berlin and Vienna. And I wanted to bookend it with the Berlin Philharmonic and the Vienna Philharmonic, right? And then kind of go travel between the two cities via Leipzig and Salzburg. Basically, Leipzig being the place that Bach did much of his composition and lived for most of his life as the Kapellmeister in one of the three main cathedrals, or the third biggest one. It was not a big deal when he was alive. Bach was not a very famous person until he died. Actually, he wasn't really a famous person until the 19th century, to be honest, and the Victorians turned him into one. But and then Salzburg, obviously the birthplace and the majority of a good chunk of Mozart's life. And then, yeah, bookending it with concerts in both major cities. Looking back on that, that is a 2-week trip. That's a 2-week trip. But, right, I wanted to do that. And, like, don't get me wrong, that would still be cool. But I am kind of on board with the idea of doing like this is gonna make me sound so old. I'm entering my middle age. Oh my god. Viking river cruises look fucking cool. I'm sorry. The idea of just like, you sit on the cruise ship, you go from city to city to city along the river, sounds kind of great, and sounds like the kind of pace that I would like at this point. And you aren't necessarily going to hit all of the major cities along your route. Like in the countries that you visit, you're going to hit some of the second and third cities. But I think there's just as much interesting stuff there. I mean, it's funny that when we talk about France, we almost always talk about Paris and traveling to Paris. But like, a friend of mine went and did like a big grand tour of France relatively recently, and they had a really good time in some of the smaller cities. Like Paris was great, and it was really great to see a lot of the museums. I would love to see the Bibliothèque Nationale. The number of times that I've contacted them because they've got rare music manuscripts is like off the charts. If I get this new job, I'm betting I'm probably going to end up having to contact the British Library quite a lot. But this friend of mine had more fun and more enjoyment in some of those second cities, and specifically had a great time in Nice, and said that they would want to go back to France to go to Nice alone. They don't want to bother with Paris again. Like, sure, Paris for like a day trip or like maybe one night, but they want to stay and spend time in Nice. And I think that sounds wonderful. By the pictures they sent me, I would love to spend time in Nice. But then you think of like Italy, right? And Ragnarok, I know you can speak to this one very directly. A lot of people, a lot of Americans at least, when we think of visiting Italy, we tend to not necessarily think about just visiting Rome, right? Like, we do think of big cities, and there are a lot of things to be seen outside of those big cities, but we tend to think very much of like those second cities, the ones that aren't the capital, that aren't the big one. Because we do think of going to Rome, sure, but then we also think of going to Florence, of going to Venice, which I know is a tourist hellhole, but you know, I'd still love to see it anyway. Not gonna lie. There's a small part of me that still wants to go to St. Mark's Square and see the Doge's Palace, and you know, I might not be able to stay in Venice, but it would be cool to go. You know, so why don't we apply that to the same way to other places? You know, that being said, then I think of like England, and London is the main city, right? But what are the second cities? Manchester, Liverpool, Brighton. You really want to spend a week in Manchester? I don't know that I want to. I don't know that I'd want to. So maybe some countries it's better to stick to the main city. And that's not a huge dig on people from Manchester or Liverpool. I think I know some people from the Liverpool area actually. Or is it the Lancaster area? I can't remember. But like, as far as if you can go to one place, Manchester, UK is not on that list. You can go to one place in England, it's going to probably be London. If you can go to one place in the UK, London's cool, but I at this point think I would like to go to Edinburgh, right? Or Glasgow. Probably Edinburgh. Anyway. I gotta catch up with chat again. Right, I'd love to visit the wine region. I'd love to see that part. The problem is, I'd love to visit the wine region in Germany because I like German wines way more than I like French wines. I like German white wines, especially sweet German white wines. Like, that is the perfect kind of wine for me. Gewürztraminer, Riesling, like those are my wines. Because Italian white wines are either way too dry or way too sweet. There's like nothing in between, right? And then French white wines are all dry. Anyway, tentative plan to go to Germany, Hungary, and Austria for Christmas market. Oh, that's really cool. That'd be cool. That'd be neat. I would definitely be down to like Germany and Austria. Hungary, I'd be nervous about going to Hungary myself with Viktor Orban. That's just a personal safety thing for me, because I don't know how I would do with my body in a place like that. And yeah, plans your airfare, places you stay, food as well as tours. See, like, I don't know. I bristle at that idea on the one hand, because part of me is like, I don't want to be told where I'm going. But on the other hand, I'm like, but I love the idea that I don't have to like figure out where we're staying and do all of the planning work. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love planning vacations. That's why planning the Disney trip that I went to in 2020 was like, that's the fun for me. Was like, where are we going to stay? What parks are we going to? What days are we going to which parks? Like, where are we taking our rest day? We've got to maximize. Like, I literally min-maxed a Disney trip. It was hilarious. And that's actually one of the things that I don't like about how Disney is now, because it's more expensive and you can't do that anymore. But at the same time, I kind of want to go back. So I get it in September. They stop in Munich instead of Berlin. München! Oh my god. That's one of those ones that I kind of want to go to. Like, Munich is definitely on that list. Like, I really do want to go to Berlin, but like, Berlin is on the eastern side of the country, and you know, aside from the fact that it was split in half by itself during the Cold War, like, a lot of the eastern half of the country did kind of, you know, Soviets. The museums make dealing with Parisian assholes worth it. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is like, I would love to go to Paris, see the museums, see the archives. It would be delightful. I know one of the reasons why I'm definitely holding off is very specifically because Notre Dame is still under construction, reconstruction. I want to see Notre Dame Cathedral. So, you know, I gotta wait anyway. That's really wonderful that your dad got to do that. Yeah. Loved Florence. Venice wasn't my fave. Milan was interesting. You know, I really don't hear a lot about Milan. That's kind of the thing. The only things I ever hear about Milan are about the fashion. And like, don't get me wrong, I love fashion and I love critiquing fashion, but I'm also very happy to keep it over there, you know? I don't know how to put this. Like, I care about fashion houses and what they do, but I care about it in the way that an art critic does. I'm not going to go out and buy that fashion. I don't even necessarily want to wear it, but I do want to ingest it visually. And that's where I see fashion from. So, like, going to the place where they make the fashion is not terribly interesting to me. It'd be cool to go to a show, but, you know. Riesling is so good. A sweet Riesling to a late harvest Spätlese, like, oh my god. There is this excellent Spätlese that I hilariously, going back to Disney, found through Disney World, through the Germany pavilion at Disney World. Zelbeck Oster Spätlese Riesling, and oh my god, it's amazing. And unfortunately, there was a liquor store nearby that stocked it regularly, and I was so happy that they kept it in stock, and it wasn't terribly expensive either. It was only like $40 a bottle. But that liquor store closed, unfortunately, because they're redeveloping the site, and the next, like, they have another location. It's not terribly far, but it is just far enough that I like, and I don't have a car right now, so Oh, they give you an afternoon of free exploration. I love that. I love that. I mean, that's one of the things about these tour companies, is that even though they give you the tour as an option, you don't have to go. And that's one of the things that I do like about the idea of a Viking River cruise. It's like, they let you out in the city, and yeah, you could join the tour, or you could just tell the tour guide, hey, we're going to go explore, and they're going to tell you, be back on the ship by this time, right? Like, you know, be back on the ship by this time. And with the way smartphones are, and getting an eSIM, like a temporary eSIM plan in Europe for data, is so cheap. So cheap. And because of the European Union, it'll work all over Europe. Like, you can get one for like $10. Great, yeah. Oh my god. Sunday Mass at Notre Dame. That's fucking cool. See, I would absolutely love, I think it's Vespers. I want to go to a Vespers Mass. Again, not Catholic. I just know far too much about the Mass because of being a musician. We are taught the Mass for about half a semester. That is literally like the entirety of music history that we get for a while. And yeah, I would love to go. The Opera House, that's really neat. Yeah. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, it's like I'm not Catholic and I have no desire to sit in a Catholic service, especially most modern Catholic services. They lost all of the cool stuff that they used to do. Like that's one of the worst things about learning music history if you're not a Catholic, or maybe even if you are a Catholic. I suppose it might even be more disappointing if you are Catholic and then you sit through the first half of Music History 1 and you're like, man, we used to do such cool shit. The church used to do such cool shit and now it fucking sucks. Like, kind of little sidebar, related, but sidebar. The Boston Symphony Orchestra is having an amazing season this year. Like, this is the first time in my, like, what is this? 8 years of living here that I have been tempted to purchase season tickets. Like, that's the level of, oh my god, this is fucking cool kind of thing. I'm going to hold off because it is actually cheaper for me to use a specific promotion they run. However, there are 10 concerts that I want to go to, 3 that I have to go to, okay? One of them, and this is always a pro tip for if you're ever looking at classical concerts and you're looking for like what any classical orchestra is playing, they will not necessarily list the entirety of what they are playing or who they are playing, even the composers they are playing, in the title of the concert itself when you're looking at their calendar. So like this one in particular, I can't remember exactly when it was or who it was, but it's like some violinist that's a guest with a guest conductor as well. And they're saying like this person and this person playing the Tchaikovsky violin concerto. And I'm like, okay, cool. Czech violin concerto. It's fun. I was first oboe when I played it. Was I first oboe? No, that was the Prokofiev. Never mind. I was second oboe for that one. I've played it. Like, I've played it. I was in the orchestra when I played it and someone was soloing, so I know the piece. It's fun. It's cool. I don't necessarily need to go out of my way to hear it. It's not my instrument. It's not my focus. And it's good, but I'm not going to pay a lot of money to go see it. But I clicked on it anyway and looked at the actual program of what was going to be played, and hidden in that, Stravinsky's Firebird. And I'm like, oh, that though. I don't give a shit about the violin concerto. I do give a shit about Firebird. We're going to fucking go to the BSO, see them do Firebird in literally the most acoustically perfect hall in the world. Okay? I'm going to see it. Absolutely. So that's one of them. They're doing a whole cycle of the Beethoven symphonies in January, February, somewhere in there, I think, where they're literally doing like a concert that is Symphony 1, 2, 3, and then another concert that's 4 and 5, and another concert that's 6 and 7, and then another concert that is 8 and 9. Now, there are some excellent symphonies that he wrote, don't get me wrong, even beyond the ones that everybody knows, because everybody, you may know Symphony number 3. Possibly, that's the first movement. More likely you'll know the second movement. It's a funeral march. The Boston Symphony actually played it when JFK was shot. It's a fascinating recording as well. NPR was recording it at the time live, and that was how most of the audience learned that JFK had been assassinated. When Sergei Kutsevitsky came out and announced that they were going to be making a last-minute change to the program, announcing that the president had been shot, and you hear the gasps going, but then saying, we are going to be making a change to the program, and we are now going to be playing the funeral march from Beethoven's Symphony No. 3, Eroica, and you hear the gasps go through the audience again, and this time it's like real, and they know, oh shit. It's terribly interesting. Anyway, so Third Symphony, you might know that one. You definitely know the Fifth Symphony. Dun 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 dun. Played it. It's cool. It's fun. Again, it's a good time. You probably know the Sixth Symphony to some degree. Maybe. Floating that out there. The seventh and eighth don't get a lot of playtime, but the seventh is a really fun time. Also the fourth. The fourth is a lot of fun. Again, something that doesn't really get a lot of playtime, but those two I actually really enjoy outside of the big massive ones that everybody knows. And then of course there's the ninth. How can we not talk about the ninth? And that's the one that I want to see, because I have never actually been in the audience for a live performance of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. It is going to be with the Boston Symphony and the Tanglewood Festival Chorus. It is going to be fucking glorious, and I want to be in the fucking audience for it. Like, don't get me wrong, the Eighth Symphony is great, but the Ninth Symphony Ode to Joy, holy shit. Still gives me chills. Still gives me chills. They used it to benchmark capacity. Yeah. It's a long piece. It's a long piece. I'm actually kind of impressed that they're even bothering to do the Eighth Symphony alongside it, because it is so long. It's kind of strange, but so that's the second one that I want to see. And this is where it becomes related to the whole Church Catholicism Mass thing. The last one that's in May, one of my favorite pieces of all time, literally, like, nothing has yet topped this. Mozart's Requiem Mass. Now, I cannot say that I have not been in the audience for Mozart's Requiem. I have. And in fact, I saw it at a really fucking great place. So if you've ever been to Montreal, you may or may not have visited Notre Dame Basilica, which is fucking gorgeous. Okay. Oops, that is not what I wanted. Let me just pull up some photos real quick here, because I need you to see the interior of this place, right? Like, I'm gonna pop this in the Discord real quick. It is like, the best part is I was not planning on going to Notre Dame Basilica at all. It was not on my list of things to go to. I was there for a conference, actually, that was taking place over Veterans Day weekend. And my mother had come with me, my roommates had come with me. We were kind of making a little bit of a trip out of it. While I was in the conference, they were out exploring. And, when I was done, we all went out exploring together. So this is the interior. If you're on the Discord, you can see that's the interior of Notre Dame Basilica, right? It is breathtakingly beautiful, especially with the rose window skylight. I don't even know what to call that, because it's not really a rose window, but the skylight that's in there, holy shit. And it is in that cathedral that I got to witness a performance of Mozart's Requiem, which was amazing just by the vibes alone. However, the problem with spaces like this is that you need to be very careful when you are trying to acoustically balance a very large ensemble like is required for a Requiem, where you have 4 soloists, 4 vocal soloists, an entire chorus, and a relatively small orchestra, okay? Because the Requiem Mass, when it was written, was not intended to be in such a large church space as the Notre Dame Basilica. So when I went to see it, It was lovely. It was great. The aesthetic was fucking perfect. The orchestra was being swallowed by the chorus, though. I could not hear the orchestra most of the time. It was very muddy and very difficult to hear. So I am very much looking forward to the Boston Symphony Orchestra in, again, the most acoustically perfect concert hall in the world, Boston Symphony Hall, doing Mozart's Requiem. And I do plan on being in the audience for those other two performances, for Firebird and for Symphony Number 9. And the kind of maxim is there are no bad seats in Symphony Hall. When I say it's acoustically perfect, I really do mean, like, there are no bad seats. The only bad seats are the ones that have some kind of obstructed view, so you can't see part of the ensemble or you can't see the conductor. And I really don't care about that. But I want to be, like, in the middle of the orchestra for the Requiem Mass. I will pay money to be in the middle, because I will need to bring tissues. Like, I will be bawling at some point. Oh, I love that piece so much. Hello, Dreamy. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we took a bit of a detour. I find it funny that we got back onto classical music when I started this whole thing, purely because of Dvorak and the name Dvorak and the fact that the people in the game pronounce it Dvorak and it hurts my ears. Because then I talked about linguistics, and then that got into traveling to Europe, and then that got into wanting to see Notre Dame in Paris and wanting to go to a mass at Notre Dame, even though I'm not Catholic. And masses, Requiem Mass, that's how we got here. So I don't know if there's anything for me to click on in here, but yeah, there's nothing to click on there. Okay. We were not really sidetracked there. That drawer looks like it can open, and the reason I say that is because it is a different color than the others, but it is not allowing me to do that. Hold on. Maybe this is where I'd been told that the classic thing can be useful, especially in moments like this. Damn. Okay, maybe you can't. Yeah, okay, I guess not. Never mind. I lied. Okay. So how do I get into what's-his-face's office? Where's the cat? Ah. Huh. He told me to come visit, didn't he?
Not available. I'll track down a different lead.
Oh. All right then. Huh. Hype train is possible at this point. Yeah, sticking to the product at Leo's office. Other things that I can't do right now. Close that. That. Those I will keep. That. That. Okay, there are some things that we do need to do back at the cafe, achievement-wise, so I will go and do those. That's the Notre Dame. There is the resub. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ragnarok. Okay. Why is the guy not seeing me? Huh. And that would be resub number 2. Thank you, DigiShell. Thank you, thank you.
I want to try the Cafe Con Yellow. Give me pure coffee flavor with no additions.
Wasn't there one that I saw that was, I mean... Oh, I'm seeing 62%. Ooh, I'm unstable again, apparently. Whoa. That's my bit rate on here looks fine, so I don't know. Nope. That sounds like another resub. Oh, that worked. Okay. I didn't realize you could do that. Oh, but it's now at 93%. God damn. I forgot they changed the threshold for the hype trains, didn't they? I think they did. And I would do it myself, but I have tried this and it won't work when I do it. Which I guess I understand, but it's still annoying that it won't work. Espresso. One steam milk. 2 sugars. 2.
Oh no, this doesn't look right.
Yeah, I got it. There we go. Okay. Okay. There you go. Hype train indeed. There we go. That was Sunny June's favorite order. Okay. And sorry, random customer, I don't really care. What's for brunch and egged? Top secret. You think Patrizia would make a espresso? Okay. Espresso. Okay, so wait, let's see here. Find the Marius cards. Solve it as a master sleuth, okay. Share it with Ned first. Share it with person first. Find the true owner of the necklace, which unlock every other achievement except the like a local and hidden Easter egg. First trigger a new puzzle at the end. That's what I want. The 2-in-1 at the end. Forest, already did that one. What's for brunch? Make Sunny June's order. Did that. It's locked. You get that when you finish the game. Legend of Prague. Crack the case without a hint. You automatically get that when you play Master Sleuth, so we're good there. Persistent, that's fine. Leo's cat, which we can't do yet. Nancy drew in the Philosopher's Stone, set each of the 3 wheels of the Alchemist's lab cabinet locked to the same symbol. Okay. Bilingual, listen to Hans Feierstinger's, did that one. Egged Top Secret, we got that one already. Answer the trivia question, which that obviously it doesn't matter. Successfully brew 30 coffees, barista. And then learn every Czech word. Okay, so the only other thing that we need to do right now is just do the coffees. Successfully brew 30, which we have not done yet. So...
1 espresso, please. Also, add vanilla syrup.
Is that just... It's just an espresso with vanilla syrup. Okay. Okay. Ooh.
That's how it's done.
Bam.
Like cafe noisette. But can you add a bit more espresso to it?
Cafe noisette. Double espresso. Double espresso, 1 milk. And hazelnut. Shit. Oh, wait. What? Okay. Wait, was that steamed? I don't remember if it was supposed to be steamed or not. Oh, but you want more than that. Oh. It's just milk. Okay. No, it does say little steamed milk, so you want a bit more espresso. I just needed the hazelnut. There we go. Do I have to do the... Okay. This is stress.
I seem to be getting good at this.
Okay. Oh, that got
Have macchiato. But please add twice as much milk as usual.
caramel macchiato, twice as much milk. So 2 coffee, 2 milk, and caramel. I don't want to. I don't. Ugh.
Need to start from
Shit.
scratch. Another perfect drink.
Can I have one lungo, please? Extra sugar.
What is that? Triple espresso. Extra sugar. That's, okay. You just want espresso with sugar in it.
One step closer to perfection.
Did that not work? Maybe is it just a single thing of sugar?
That's how it's done.
Can I have one cafe noisette? Extra
Cafe
sugar.
noisette. Extra sugar. All right. Double single steamed. Hazelnut. Wish there were some way to figure out where I was in this process, you know? Something stuck on my teeth. I hate that. No! Don't make me do any more fucking latte art. Whoa.
I seem to be getting good at this.
Barista Simulator 2024.
But please add twice as much milk as usual.
There we go. Finally got it. Double single steam caramel. But double. Oh, more fucking latte art. Don't like the latte art. It's funny because I saw people complaining online about the latte art and how much they hated doing it and how frustrating it was and how they kept failing it. I'm not having that problem. I am, however, just annoyed that I have to do it at all. That's why. Alright. Weren't letting me finish. Why? Haven't filled the requisite amount of. There we go. Good enough.
Another perfect drink.
I'd like to have macchiato, but please add twice as much milk as usual.
That's literally the same as the last guy, but okay. Just doing more macchiatos means more fucking latte art.
That's how it's done.
I'd like to have macchiato, but please add twice.
Hey, we need a different recipe.
Please.
Thank you.
Also,
I'm not making a fourth macchiato. Extra flavor. So, yeah. Double. Okay.
I seem to be getting good at this.
How many more do I need to do?
extra sugar.
I want simpler recipes. Did I only do a single portion of that? I think I fucked up. Hold on. There we go. That looks better. Cannot work.
Oh no, this doesn't look right.
What did I mess up? Oh! Yep. Got it. I got it. That is on me. And I hate the latte art. Doing it once is kind of cute, but like this many times is kind of annoying.
Another perfect drink.
1 cappuccino. Also add caramel syrup.
Cappuccino. The latte, use less coffee. 1 coffee and a large amount of milk. Keep forgetting to check if I'm supposed to steam the milk or not. Nope, I am. Mostly milk. Ah, we have a new pattern now.
That's how it's done.
I want
I
something
know this is not.
I can drink right away. Do you have anything with cold water in it? Also, add vanilla syrup.
Cold water. Cafe con Helio. Espresso, add a medium amount of cold water. An espresso, just the small. A please would be marvelous. With a large amount? Medium amount. Add vanilla.
I seem to be getting good at this.
Give me pure coffee flavor with no additions.
No, just this espresso.
Another perfect drink.
I like you. More of that. Ugh. Less of that. The people asking for a caramel macchiato are not American, by the way, and the little book is like, oh, all my American tourists want this drink. I'm sitting here being like, no, it sounds like the European friends are the ones that want it. Just saying.
That's how it's done.
Give me the cafe con hielo, but please use hot water instead of cold. Extra sugar.
Interesting. So you just want a watered down hot coffee.
I seem to be getting good at this.
Flat white, please. Extra sugar.
Is a latte twice as much as macchiato. Double. Double, right. No! Damn it. How many of these do I have to do?
Another perfect drink.
I want something at a temperature I can drink right away. Do you have anything with cold water in it? Also, add some hazelnut syrup.
That's how it's done.
Can I have one lungo, please?
Somebody wants to be vibrating through the walls. Fine with that, though.
I seem to be getting good at this.
Give me pure coffee flavor, with no additions.
Another perfect drink.
Can I have a sweet sunrise, please?
Vanilla and sugar. Okay. So 1 milk, 2 coffee, vanilla sugar.
That's how it's done.
I want something at the temperature I can drink right away. Do you have anything with cold water in it? Extra sugar.
I do cold brew. Cold brew is my drink of choice.
I seem to be getting good at
With
this.
vanilla syrup, and I'm trying half and half right now, but I prefer light cream. Light cream is just so much more expensive than half and half. I don't know that I can justify it, you know? Anything else I need to put in there? Nope. So, anyone watch any cool shows lately? Since this is what we're doing on the stream, apparently. I have to say, I was a really big fan of the show Archer when it started, and then kind of fell off at some point during college, and decided to watch it again. So when I do some of my surgeries post stuff.
Perfect drink.
Dilating.
Anything to your taste.
Takes about
Only if it has no milk in it.
anything to my taste, but no milk. I love that. Here you go. Vibrate through the walls. I have to basically sit in bed
How it's done.
in the morning for 40 minutes.
Cafe con hielo, but please use hot water instead of cold.
Okay, now I know how to do that. So yeah, I rewatched all of Archer now, and it was fun. It was good. I enjoyed it.
I seem to be getting good at
A
this.
little sad that it's done, to be honest.
Coffee flavor with no additions.
Finished Bridgerton season 3. Kind of disappointing.
Another perfect drink.
Season 1 was the best. Season 2 was not as good, but still fun. Season 3 was kind of incoherent, to be honest. Actually, you know, before we do that, I'm just gonna back out. We still haven't hit the achievement, have we?
Please prepare 1 latte.
You know, I don't want to do the ones that have...
Macchiato.
I'd like anything to your taste, but only
Yeah.
if it has no milk in it.
Let me try to get things that don't have latte art, because that's sucking up time here.
That's how it's done.
My boyfriend and I have started watching Batman the Cape was that was the 30th. Nailed it. I need to take a very, very brief break because I literally have like 3 more bites of pizza, but I have no drink left and I want more. So I will be right back. Hold on. Okay, so this is about to be a really fun night because I have a really big bottle of white rum and wanted to just kind of finish it off because it was like a little bit of it left and I thought it was a lot less than it really is because that is how much rum came out of it. That is a full 8 ounces of rum that is now unfortunately already in my drink. So... Party time indeed. All right. Let's celebrate finishing that achievement, I suppose. Holy shit. Okay. This is gonna be so rem heavy. Oh, I don't know that I'm gonna like this. I don't know that I'm gonna like this. Ah. Woo! Oh, that is rum. Since I finished out the bottle, I can also say, why is the rum always gone? Okay, anyway, we're back to this. We have done everything I think we need to do at the moment. So we are going to move onward. Let's talk to this fucker.
Do you need any help today?
Hi. The rich tradition of the marionettes called you back.
I don't want to do anymore.
Something like that. Will you be putting on a play today?
Much later. In the meantime, I am still working on a script for a new one.
What will it be about?
You will have to wait and see.
What if I won't be here when you do it? Okay.
Perhaps I should come another day.
I promise, whenever you do, I will not make you work for free. Again.
It was no trouble, Radek. Thanks.
Nancy, no, stop. You get paid for your work, damn it. Ooh, hello. All right. Okay.
Wow, that's a big donation.
Merciful marionettes. Oh shit, Lutkari? Huh. Interesting.
Locked.
Can you...
Locked.
How... Why is it locked? How is it locked? There's no lock on it. Nancy. Nancy.
This doesn't seem right.
It's locked.
What do you mean it doesn't seem right? You can't saw it off? Come on, be bold.
This doesn't seem right.
Lame. That worked though, okay.
A new story about an ancient group called the Residente.
Okay. Huh. Not a lot that's terribly interesting in there though. So, okay. Story goes that rules crown jewels scattered and agent says just gates demanded the king bring the crown jewels back to Prague. Didn't we do this one? More or less. Not quite, but more or less. Huh.
Nancy!
Anything to say for yourself? I don't know.
You have a lot of puppets. How many do you have?
10 in total. King Maria Theresa is my newest addition. I couldn't resist making her the star of the show.
Are you sure you only have 10? You mentioned to Merrick you were waiting for him to repair your 12th puppet.
Yeah, remember how I can learn languages really fast? Yeah, you did.
Heard me. I meant 10.
Mm-hmm.
But Maria Theresa starred in your show. She didn't need repair.
I'm an actor. I'm not very good with numbers. He knew who I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I suspect he did.
You are suddenly very, very, very suspicious.
I should get going.
Bye.
I wonder if Patrizzi can talk to me about Residente. What that is, what that means.
Are you here for coffee or questions?
A little bit of both. Have you heard of the Residente in Prague?
You are romantic. A secret conspiracy of criminals haunting the streets of Prague.
Ah.
Have you ever encountered them?
Really bad. Did not know the difference between 10 and 12. Base 10, base 12. Ooh.
This cafe is amazing. It's been here a long time.
Yes, centuries.
Always serving coffee?
Coffee was brought here in the 1700s.
Oh.
A Turkish peddler brought the mysterious drink to Bohemia, serving it in this very spot. It was considered a rare and exotic drink that few could afford. The rulers even determined it was only to be served to the royals and nobles. They say that members of my family long past were among the first to enjoy this delicacy. But today, I'm happy to say, our coffee is served to all.
Was this cafe passed on to you?
In a way, different regimes owned all of the businesses here. My family struggled.
What does that mean, regimes?
As I do today.
I can see that you do love your work.
It is the history that makes me stay, knowing how hard some have had it. I can't bring myself to leave. It is not that I have never wished to leave, to try something new. I would love to be a writer or to travel the world like you and Adela. For me, I have my recipe book to write in, and I make coffees from around the world. For now, that will have to do.
Decent perspective, I suppose.
I should get going.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to run the joint, yeah. Coffee for all. Questionable quality of the coffee, but coffee for all.
Oh, you've made yourself comfortable. Should I get you a coffee?
You don't have any coffee, do you?
No. I was just being polite.
I didn't know polite was in your vocabulary.
Have you heard of the collectibles side of Apparat in Old Town?
I have. Nothing more than a glorified pawn shop, if you ask me.
Adela took her necklace to the shop at one point. Do you think the shopkeeper...
She is a giant bitch, yes.
Her necklace?
Marek worked in the gem trade for many years. He certainly has the skills. I'm sure he needs the money, what with that tacky little shop.
That tacky little shop. I feel like I could do her. I mean, I can do a haughty British voice is the problem. I don't know that I could do a haughty generic European voice, you know? But I could definitely do a haughty voice better. Marek worked in the gem trade for many years. He certainly has the skills. I'm sure he needs the money. What with that tacky little shop? Oh. Oh. Sorry.
Who has access to your...
I have not drank much of this alcohol. That's just me. That's not the alcohol.
How safe is it?
You wouldn't know it. It is very...
Thank you. I'm so glad you got that. Yep.
Burglar cracked my safe.
It's worth looking into.
Not even you could crack this safe. Go ahead. Try.
All right.
Vladena, a moment of your time.
Go ahead. Try.
Chat.
Watch me.
Oh dear, it's Oscar. This won't take long.
Zing. While you two talk, I'm going to open this bitch's safe and take everything she's worth.
Nice.
Here we go.
I love the gems, but it seems there's more to it.
Okay, that probably has something to do with it. Hold on. Ooh, I dripped some water on this. Oops. Oh, it bled through to the other page. Then that. Then doot doot. Then. Alright, 4 numbers. Maybe it's not to do with that in particular. Ah, there we go. Gold band. Okay, hold on. It's a large oval. The empty one is a large teardrop. That is a large circle cut, and that is a medium. Okay. What is solve to get the total? What is solve to get the total? Huh. Tick marks reminder. 4, 3 times 4. 17, 2. 3 equals 2. 17? Okay. 8,7 millimeters. 11,4 millimeters. Ooh. This is interesting. Hello? Yes. See, there are, what is this? 9 different sizes here, though? What was it about this game mispronouncing Dvorak? That's the thing. Dvorak. Dvorak. They pronounce it Dvorak. There's a character in here whose last name is Dvorak, and they say Dvorak, and it hurts because they're supposed to be Czech. I know. It hurts. I held my tongue the last time I played because I wasn't sure if this was like a difference in how it was written or a difference in how, you know, some people pronounce it, because I do know that the composer is Antonin Dvorak and the keyboard layout is Dvorak. It is actually Dvorak. But the reason the keyboard layout is Dvorak is because when the guy who created the keyboard layout moved to the United States, he Americanized his name. Whereas Dvorak, I mean, you just pronounce it the way it's passed through an American accent, but it's not. Yeah. Check chart for the teardrop in the round. It says there is a logic here, and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. There's a special measuring tool. Do I not have the measuring tool? I'm trying to understand. Okay, wait. What is the it's a teardrop, the pear. Okay, that's a pear. And a round cut. Why are there two on one ring design? Is the ring important here? I am actually a little confused. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I appreciate that I don't know what I'm doing here. I have to say that. Oh, wait. I am supposed to play around with an actual thing. That's why. I didn't even have to look at a hint. I just had to... Hold on. Where the fuck is the... Ah! I found the thing. Fan gauge piece. Just a piece of the fan gauge? Ah, okay, I see. I see. There are multiple pieces of the gauge that I have to find. And then I go from there. Problem is I need to find all the pieces of the fan gauge. Unless... Nope. They're not ready to go together, I guess. Yet. Interesting. Huh. Don't see anything else there. They're having quite the spirited discussion, it sounds like. I'm either blind or... Ah! There we go. Is that everything? I think that's all I need. Okay, so... Here we go. Fan gauge. I know fan gauge. Or does it just say on there? Okay. I'm still confused. Based on the jewelry guide by checking to see if the math equation is true. I can't place the... Works. I mean, count the number of digits in the solved math problems. I don't understand where... is there more? More that I'm missing? No. No. Silver 3-part fan gauge. No, I did. Okay. Align the pieces so the black stripe lines up. Oh, okay. What? There we go. There we go. Okay, that's what I was... that's not clear. I'm gonna ding him on that one. That's not clear. Okay. And now I should be able to take this. There we go. Okay, so x2 equals 10x. And there are two... There should be 1 digit in this thing, 1 digit in this thing, 2 in this thing, and 3 in this thing. Right? Is that right? Hydro gauge, you need to do the math to make the equation true. Align the gauge so that numbers from the pink, orange, and green column appear in the cutouts. Pink, orange, and green? Can I rotate this? Oh, I can rotate it. I was gonna say, I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to get pink, orange, and green when the pink is over here? Okay. All right, I'm seeing this now. And because it's... Oh. I think that has to be it. Somehow. There's only supposed to be 1 in that. Almost perfect, but it's not quite. Check your math to see if you place the gauge in the right place. 4.5 by 3. Do I add that or do I multiply that? Times 4 minus 9 equals... Boom. Let's see if I just do this as math. 4.5 times 3, okay, it's 4, minus 9 is 45. Okay, 7.5 times 6 is 45. Okay. I think I might have... We might have solved this. 7 times 5 times 2 equals 10 times... Yeah, 70! Okay, alright. How does that equal up to a combination? The oval is 7 times 5. The teardrop is 7.5 times 6. The round guy is 4.5 times 3. And that one is just 7. Is it really 35? What is that? 645. But then I have a That doesn't seem right. Yeah, there's no decimals on that. 4.3 times 4. $17.2, 3 = 2. You take the decimal point? Count the digits. Oh, 17.2, the third digit in that equation. Okay. Okay. No, I get it now. All right, so I have to look back at my... No. This guy. So the oval is the second digit, which is 5. The first digit, which is 4. And the third digit, which is 5. And that one is the only digit, which is 7. So 5, 4, 5, 7. That's not right.
Vladena, you should think better of people.
Okay, I like that puzzle. That's actually kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. That was actually kind of cool.
I need to take another look at the Dagos file.
Okay. 27 pearls to sapphire. Pearls verified artificial shell variety. Gemstone synthetic lab created. Interesting. So now do I just like leave or no? Okay.
You? I did not think it was possible.
Yeah, honey, don't test me. By the way, here's what I found.
Is this the in-store appraisal log for Adela's necklace?
Yes, it is.
Has the log always been kept in the safe? Could anyone else have accessed it?
It was out while I was working on the necklace. I briefly stepped out with a customer, but no one else was in the store, aside from Oscar. He wanders in here from time to time. Despite all his flaws, I doubt he would do anything to the log.
Despite all his flaws.
You tried to update the Dagos file.
Yes. Here, just take it. It is of no use to me anymore. The necklace was fake.
Appreciate it. Turns out I'm going to get a coffee after all. Care to join me?
Woo!
Love to, but I can't. Very busy, as you can see.
Oh, Nancy. Holy shit, she did come for that woman's neck. She plays the long game. All right.
Everything all right? It sounded like you were arguing with Oscar.
He will not let anyone but him evaluate the collection to be put on display.
Isn't that his job?
It was also his job when the other gems were replaced with fakes.
I thought that was before his time.
He was an assistant then. His superior was fired, but he was not. There was also an incident in London, did you know? He seems to bounce from exhibit to exhibit.
Interesting. Do you know if he's ever been questioned in relation to these incidents?
How would I know? I only know that I am qualified to verify the gems, and he won't let me.
I know, the one you mean.
Not. He was never personally in charge of an
Nancy in the middle going, mm-hmm. And the guy going, same. Totally same.
Get going.
Good. We are done here.
Hi.
I'm afraid I don't have time to talk about the exhibits today.
That's not why I'm here. I wanted to ask you a few more questions.
If it will not take too long, I have an appointment.
I heard you arguing with Vladena earlier. What happened?
A professional disagreement.
You went all the way to her store for a professional disagreement?
All the way. Nancy is literally across the hall.
That I cannot have her assess the gems in the official collection.
Why can't you allow it?
I do not need an additional point.
Because she is the woman.
You are the only one allowed to assess them?
In the case of the crown jewels, I am not allowed to assess them. I am only overseeing them. The same family that has officially done so for generations continues to assess him today.
If a family tie like that is required, why would Vladena ever think that she could personally assess the jewels?
Allegedly, her family were the original appraisers of the crown jewels, until they were ousted along with the rest of the alchemists. Too long ago to matter.
Alchemists, okay.
Nonetheless, she feels her credentials return this right to her.
How do you know all of this? They seem like rather personal details.
Well, people talk.
Uh-huh.
The technology circle is not large.
You're not wrong, but also, uh-huh.
Did you ever examine the gems on Adela Cherna's necklace?
No, I am not a commercial appraiser.
Did you visit Zloty Jewelers while Adela's necklace was there?
It is possible.
So you have visited Zloty Jewelers on more than one occasion.
We are professional colleagues.
But you're not a commercial appraiser, so why would you go there?
You have already asked this question. That's enough. I must be on my way. Enjoy your time in Prague.
Yeah, fuck off.
Thank you. I would... That was abrupt.
What an asshole. Still can't talk to the guy here. Oh.
I should compare this file Vladena gave me with the version on Dagos.
Oh? Oh, you know, I just noticed. Hold on. Didn't even look at these photos before. This is Canascosta in Venice. And we've got Castle Malloy, Ireland. Waverly Academy, of all places, in central New York. And then Blackmore Manor in England. Interesting. Oh. Not sure why those would be here. Gonna have another fucking creepy moment where it does the thing at me, or no? No, that's not right. Also not right. What's going on here? Maybe that's actually the end. Ah! Makes more sense. No? Hmm. Is that not it? Why is that not it? What's wrong with this picture? Still wants me to keep going, but it is correct. Right, which is why I'm confused. Am I missing something? Everything looks right to me as well. Maybe look it up. All right. Gotta end soon too. Not expect to be up this late. I was planning on actually calling it around 10 o'clock, but we had such a rough time getting started. I just couldn't. Oh!
Hello, I am Nancy Drew, and I am not a robot. There's a lot of information here.
All right. Let's see here. Certified natural, that's something here, where we have verified artificial shell variety gemstones, synthetic lab graded, but over here it says certified natural. I have to like highlight those things or something? What's the difference between these two?
These documents are the same, but are they?
Okay, hold on. Pearl, oh, well, that says artificial and lab. Oh, interesting. Hold on a minute. $27 pearls. That's what it says. 2 sapphires, 9 emeralds. Sapphires, 9 emeralds, 4 spinels, 6 rubelite, 7 aquamarine. 6 rubelite, 7 aquamarine. Gold is 24 karat, consistent with 15th century aging and style. Gold's 24 karat. Okay. Pearls verified artificial gemstone synthetic lab. Gem value is between 1900 and 2700, which is generally correct. Necklace dates to mid 1400s with historical feature 24 karat gold setting. Most of it is certified coloration light to vivid, bright lab graded cuts clarity excellent. Pearls are certified artificial variety recent replacement evident. Total value estimate between 2,850 and 3,600. Okay, but then look at these. Pearl 2 quantity, natural 3 carats. Diamond gemstone 32 quantity. 32? 15 karat white gold hair, halo earrings with pearl. Oh, that's a totally different person. Okay, I see what I'm doing here. Century aging. M value. Total value estimate I'm not seeing on here. I guess I don't have anything to add to that. Sunday, March 5th. Oh. That's not right. Of all the things that could be wrong.
The date is different.
Okay, that's not terribly interesting. Nancy, I don't think this was the amazing discovery you thought it was, dear.
Oh,
That was a very tedious way, right? I thought it was going to be like, I click on the thing that is different, not I click on everything.
I looked into the file
Anyway.
you gave me. It doesn't match what's in the Degas file.
I tried to copy the log into Degas because the information didn't match.
Are you saying you tried to doctor the official Degas file?
The entry was wrong. It didn't match the log I wrote. As the registered gemologist and appraiser for the necklace, I should have been the only one to alter the official online entry.
Well, I hope that's the case. I may have more questions later.
I am the one who insisted Adela bring you in.
You did? Why?
Why are you such a frigid bitch?
When I heard you on that podcast. What was it called? My favorite high-stakes heist?
Oh, you saw that?
You were surprisingly well-spoken and so creative. puzzling your way through all those absurd situations. The police in Prague, they do not pay attention to little crimes. I knew you would not fail.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, I suppose so. You know, click the difference sort of deal. A new massage. Okay. That was literally just a give the guy a call, which I guess I will do now.
Agent Garrett?
Yes, Nancy. What can I do for you?
Have you heard of the Residente in Prague?
The supposed crime ring.
I am feeling it, Mr. Krabs.
If they are real, it's possible they could be involved.
Not a lot left in there.
I hadn't considered that they would be a force in this day and age, but what you're saying makes sense.
I will say, so the amount of rum that was in here before was about 8 ounces. And before that, the previous drink I had was about 4 ounces. So that's a total of 12 ounces of rum. Not a small amount of alcohol that I've ingested this evening. And let's be honest, I think I'm at the point where I would be unwilling to drive, but I can do basically everything else. I'm fine. Pinky up. Ugh.
I was fine.
I almost got a Galaxy Fold.
Dagos file.
My phone has been acting up every once in a while, and so I've been kind of like low-key keeping an eye out on things, but the S24 Ultra was such a flop.
Unusual?
And then I was interested in the Galaxy Fold until they announced they weren't going to have
They can't enter into the Dvorak file system immediately.
So it's possible the physical log is and the Dagos file was entered after the fact.
green
Or whoever entered
S Pen. The S Pen's not in the Galaxy Fold 6, so I didn't care.
Vladena.
Also, the Galaxy Fold 6 spec-wise is kind of just the same as the 5.
Anything come up in your
So
investigation?
far, their conversation is not terribly interesting.
Yes. Black market chatter has been hinting at an upcoming big score in a matter of days.
Like the Bohemian Crown Jewels.
Could be after the crown jewels.
With the numbers they're throwing around,
I am blessed with the gift of
I don't
prophecy.
know how they would steal them though.
They would need all 7 keys. Do you know where the key holders are?
So you've heard the story. I can certainly track them down, but the keys won't.
Well,
They've added
I mean,
biometric security as well.
So the 7 key holders are themselves a key.
Not all 7. I suspect 1 would be enough.
so we kind of by default are fine because I have one of said 7 keys.
The Dean of St. Vitus is
You gonna bring that up?
He could be a target.
Why him, especially?
He's planning to leave town so no one will miss him. And no security is protecting his office. I walked right in.
I'm taking these threats seriously. I'll call the local authorities.
I should go now. It might already be too late.
It might be too late. Ah! Let us run. We must save the crown jewels. Dun, dun, dun. Might already be too late.
A cat meowing?
Kitty?
I hope the Dean is available to see me now.
Very well, sir. Do you have an appointment?
You know very well I do not. You told me you would contact me, and I have heard nothing.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry for the misunderstanding.
We had this conversation yesterday. The inspection of the crown jewels is happening soon, and I must be a part of it.
Pity. It does appear the inspection has already taken place, and the Dean is already left for his trip.
I want you to record that I came searching for him today.
He's aware you came round yesterday, and he apologizes that he could not get back to you before his departure.
Okay. I'm here to save the kitty. The real life one is upset. Always upset. Alright, I was hearing it, and it was over there, and now I'm not hearing it. How to save cat. Hello. The 25th annual convocation of clergy in Rome. 21st century. Archdiocese of Madrid. The theme for this convocation is rather fittingly the key to learning. Speakers include Friar Alonso, the Dean of St. Vitus Cathedral, Leo Sokol of Prague, and Friar Jean. Or is that father? I don't actually know what FR dot means. Is that father or friar? Jean-Sébastien Monge of Notre Dame de Reims. Father. It is father. Okay, well, thank you for that information. I did not actually know. Again, not Catholic. My name might be the most fucking Catholic shit on the planet. Hello. But, and I might come from an Irish Catholic family. But I was raised Unitarian, which is the most granola yet wasp thing that I could have possibly got. So that's the thing. Yeah, everyone always assumes, like, I live in a predominantly Irish Catholic part of Boston, and I have a very Irish Catholic name. And my father is actually Irish Catholic, but I was not raised Catholic at all. My mother, in fact, actually, of my father's side of the family, I think I might be my father and mother might be the only interfaith couple. I think everybody else was Catholic or converted to Catholicism before marrying. My mother refused to, and here we are. So, yeah, weird.
Hello, this is Helena Svoboda, Special Events for the Office of the President. The President has requested that we conduct the official inspection of the crown jewels immediately, rather than next week. As always, this will be a private inspection with the utmost security. We will be in touch with further details. Osva Nesevan. Hello, it's Helena, Special Events with a message for the Dean. The President wanted me to extend his appreciation for your participation in the inspection, and to let you know everything has passed inspection and the gems are prepared for the upcoming exhibition. Dziękuję za wasz czas.
And we pass inspection. Probably won't bring them back together. Okay, Nancy, you knew that. Come on, you knew that. Interesting. Mexican Mass. So this is an interesting point that I don't fully understand. My understanding, the little bit that I have, is that Mass is conducted in essentially the localized language. Yes? Or is it church tamales? That's great. It is. Okay. That's a little sad, not gonna lie. Again, that's the whole thing that I feel like the Catholic Church is missing, is that kind of mystique, and I don't know. It's just missing some of the... I feel like it's missing some of the stuff. Let's... This is a weird puzzle, but I like it. Swap those two and see what comes out of that. Virgin of Guadalupe at Mexican Catholic. That makes sense. Yeah. A lot of St. Patrick's, but you also went to St. Patrick's. Yeah, that makes sense too. That makes sense. It's just, it's so weird. Other question, did your churches take breaks? Like, did you attend Mass every week throughout the year, or did you take a break during the summer? That's something that I'm not entirely clear whether that's like an American thing, an overall thing, or whether that was just a Protestant thing, or maybe even just every week and something extra on holidays. Yeah, we did not have that. Church literally was suspended during the summer. Like, we would have church services from September through May during the school year, basically. And then, and yeah, no, even like, well, there was always a Christmas service. There was always a Christmas Eve service and a Christmas morning service, but that's the only non-Sunday days that it would be. Otherwise, it was always Sunday, always. There were no other special holidays either, particularly. I mean, there were like specific, I'm trying to think, there were somewhere in the fall, we would do this one thing. I don't remember what it's called. I loved it. It was like my favorite service. It's usually the way that Unitarian services, at least in the church that I went to, would work, is we would all gather for the morning at the beginning of the service and do a lot of the opening stuff, the affirmation of faith, and I'm trying to remember, there are usually a couple of songs, some hymns, and then we would sing the children away, is what we called it. So it was literally like this song that was like, "Go now in peace." Oh my god, I can remember the song, but I can't remember the lyrics. Like, and we would sing this while everyone who was in Sunday school would essentially go out with their Sunday school classes. And then Sunday school classes would take place during the sermon, what would normally take place during the sermon, and then would wrap up for the closing part of the I can't remember if it would wrap up before the congregation wrapped up, or wrapped up right at the end of the congregation. So we either joined the congregation at the end for the last part, the postlude, or we just went straight downstairs to the reception area, because there was basically a reception after every single one. It was a little thing like coffee and, coffee, tea, and a little cake or something like that. It was never anything much. But, basically there was always like a function hall in the basement of the church, and you would go from the sanctuary, everyone goes downstairs into the function hall, and you would have coffee, tea, and something. And then as far as like the actual content of things, the service that I'm thinking of, there was this one service every year. I want to say it was in the fall. It was kind of a harvest thing, where we would open up the entire, like the whole thing of the sanctuary. We only really used half of it. It was a very old church, built in the 19th century, early 19th century, and was kind of originally built with a function hall in the back of the sanctuary. So there was the sanctuary with the podium and the organ, and then there were these sliding like pocket doors, but they went up and down instead of out to the side. So you would slide those open and there would be a big function hall in the back with a fireplace and a piano and other stuff like that. The church that I went to, though, we had built a basement that was far more modern. That's where the function hall happened, because that's also where the kitchen was. Anyway, so what we would do is we would open those doors. Everyone would stand in a giant circle, going from the start at the front of the podium, at the front of the altar, all the way through those doors, around back to the fireplace, and in a giant circle. We would all hold hands, and we would dance and sing. It was a song. I don't remember the lyrics again. It's about the Lord of the Dance, and it was set to Simple Gifts. Dance, dance wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the Dance, said he, and I'll sing you, no, I'll bring you, no, sing you all, and sing you all in the dance, said he, something like that. Like, it was my favorite one. I'm not that tipsy, but like, this was a legit thing that we did. Like, it was my favorite. I loved that service. I don't know why. Like, nothing specifically other than that. Maybe I loved it just because there wasn't a lot of talking and it was all music based. I do remember that we did have communion. It only happened once a year, though. It was not every service. And our communion was about as granola and New England waspy bullshit as it could have possibly be, because it was cornbread and apple cider. Okay, I think I can safely say at this point, it's 11:13. I can safely say at this point that we're done. I'm not solving a puzzle at this point, let's be honest. That save probably, yes, okay, good. So yeah, this makes me want to look it up and see if I can find stuff about this, because I mean, the Unitarians are online at this point. You can find stuff about that. So because it was specifically Lord of the Dance, a hymn written by English songwriter Sidney Carter in 1963. The American Shaker song Simple Gifts. Why Lord of the Dance should be taken out of church. Probably heretical in any way dubiously Christian. The image of a dancing Christ isn't even found within the Bible. Wow, who the fuck? I mean, oh, the links at the top of this page are literally God, Eucharist, Mary, Church, Bible, the canon. All right. Sit down, fundamentalists. We don't need to hear you anymore. I don't know what I would say. Like, I thought I searched Unitarian Universalist Lord of the Dance, and I was kind of hoping I would get an idea of when it normally would be, but apparently it's not going to be on here. Whatever. They sent you on your merry way. I mean, that's the thing. I guess that's the thing that I got from the couple of Catholic services that I attended. Basically, when they're out, and they just shoot you out the fucking door, like, leave. And And also the sermonizing, so terribly different. So terribly different. I mean, again, Unitarian Universalism is, I always say, is Christianity asterisk question mark? Like, technically Christian, but very loosely defined. Because our sermons were actually readings that the reverend would do that came from various spiritual sources, I guess I will say, not necessarily religious. And that's why, because I do distinctly remember having sermons and readings coming from the Bible, yes, but also the Quran, the Torah, I think even just like spiritual poetry. Like, I do remember, I want to say that we got some readings from the Rubaiyat. Like, not fully Christian all the time. And also we did have one family where the mother was Catholic and the father was Jewish. And if you know anything about Judaism, Judaism is generally passed through, or is traditionally considered to be passed through the matrilineally. So because the mother was Catholic, but the father wanted to hold on to his Jewish traditions and teach his sons Judaism, and the mother wanted to maintain some level of Christianity, the Catholic Church refuses to accept those children unless they are brought up completely Catholic, and the temple does not necessarily recognize the children when they're being taught Christianity, and are not, the mother can be brought into Judaism, but it's complicated. And so they ended up at the Unitarian Universalist Church. And I remember in December celebrating, it was only on Sundays. Again, we never met outside of those Sundays unless it was Christmas Eve or Christmas morning. We never went to a Christmas morning service, by the way. And we celebrated whatever day of Hanukkah landed on that Sunday. Sometimes that would mean 2 times in a December. Sometimes it would mean that the Hanukkah celebration would coincide with Christmas celebrations. And I now recognize that we did actually participate in like singing the Torah and lighting the menorah. It was a really interesting thing. It's just, like I said, it's a strange but very holistic sect of Christianity, depending on where you go. Because as far as I found out, the rather well-to-do town just west of us, I remember going into their Unitarian Universalist congregation, totally different atmosphere. Didn't actually attend a service there, just remember going in because I was working with a summer festival, a summer classical festival, and we were performing in that church. So I was helping set up and get things ready for it, and I was just astonished by how many Bibles were in the sanctuary, whereas in my congregation, there were no Bibles. Like, the books that were in front of you in the pews were the hymnals. That's it. Just the hymnals. No Bibles. So when I say Christianity with big scare quotes, it kind of depends on where you go. Saturday evening masses. I have heard of Saturday evening masses. Yeah. CCD. Oh my god. The things I heard about CCD from my Catholic friends. Oh my god. A very interesting convo to have. I know. A tipsy host, no less. Yes. So apparently, the Dubliners sing the song Lord of the Dance. It's a popular thing that I didn't realize. I thought it was just a religious thing, and apparently it's like whatever. Red wine be blood of Christ, and then the fucking flavorless bread chips. Weird shit. Catholicism. I don't. Catholic homilies, the priest gets to rant about whatever he wants, and MLK Jr. was going to hell because he wasn't Catholic. Okay. That's... okay. Sure. The man that studied Methodist. I mean, he did plagiarize his doctoral thesis, but, you know, Boston University doesn't like to tell you about that. I've actually seen some of his stuff. It's kind of neat because I used to work at Boston University. Fun fact. You know, I worked in the music library, obviously, so I didn't have direct stuff with the archives where most of his stuff is held, or most of his stuff that BU has, at least, is held, or the theology school where he actually attended. But I did go over to the theology library several times to get stuff from them. Interesting place, interesting stuff. Interface stuff is essentially verboten. I mean, that's the thing, like, got some interesting, terribly interesting stuff from, you know, being Unitarian. I remember, too, that, like, some of my early Sunday school classes were actually taught more or less Montessori style, which is interesting, you know. It's just such a New England thing. It really is. And I am perpetually happy that I got that chance, but also, I don't know how to put this. So in 5th grade, I got a comprehensive, and I do mean comprehensive, sex education. The one class that I truly went out of my way to skip was the one that we were going to be putting condoms on a banana. Like, that's the level of stuff we're talking about here. I remember having a textbook that walked us through things like, you know, saying masturbation is normal and exploratory, and it's okay to do that at a younger age than, you know, you would engage in sex on a legal basis. Things like, you know, explaining sexuality and gender identity in ways that, you know, to be fair, were very progressive for the 2000s and probably are stock standard, if not a little regressive these days. But for the 2000s, you know, holy shit, you know, explaining the difference, that there was a difference between gender identity, sex, and sexuality. Impossible. Having literal interviews during Sunday school, again, with a gay couple, a lesbian couple, a bisexual person, a transgender woman, a transgender man. Like, we got to talk to these people as like young teens, barely, if not even entering puberty at the time. Like, and then I go back to public school, which, yeah, I went to public school in New England, in New Hampshire, and, you know, public school in New England is basically the best in the country, because we put so much money into it. We put so much. And so even then, you know, the relatively liberal sex education I got through public school was child's play to what I had already learned in 5th grade, okay? The stuff that I was learning once I got to high school, I had already learned it. We had already moved past it. Like, the only thing you're telling me that's new is sexually transmitted diseases, and the way you're talking about them sounds very prohibitive versus the way that I've already learned, right? And despite all of that, I had to stay in the closet until 26. It took me until 26 years old to come out to my mother as gay. And that was the first time that I even said it to myself. It even took me years to be comfortable saying I'm gay as a phrase. And then even longer, obviously, for being trans, right? Despite having all of that access and despite having all of that exposure, it did not negate the larger cultural expectations that were placed on me, and feeling that, you know, tension, that difficulty, that that pressure to remain in the closet, hidden, don't talk about this, because I was in a very accepting household in every possible way. I mean, I had parents that were willing to take me to a church that they knew was teaching me this stuff. I had parents that were telling me, you can be whoever you want and we will still love you no matter what. Like, I had every possible opportunity growing up in the late 90s and the early 2000s to recognize that I was queer and still felt the need to stay in the closet despite all of that. I remember telling people all throughout late middle school and high school and even most of college just that I'm asexual. Don't talk to me about it. I don't want to. I wasn't saying I was straight anymore at the very least. I was saying I'm ace, but it was a cop-out, not a come-out, right? I was trying to get them to leave me alone so that I could, at the time I was saying so I could focus on my schoolwork. And I really did throw myself into my schoolwork and focus completely on that to the detriment of the rest of my life. Not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I became very academically accomplished and I do have an academic affinity, I will say that. But yeah, no, I came to the conclusion that I was gay very late in life, you know, despite having all of those advantages. And that's the thing. It's like it's not that uncommon to come to, for someone a child of the 90s, to come to the understanding that they are queer in their mid to late 20s, maybe even later. But to do that and also have the level of support and the level of knowledge that I was given is kind of surprising. And it really shows you the power of the society that we live in and what it does on a macro level that is almost impossible to counter on a micro level. Because on a micro level, I had literally every advantage given to me, and I still struggled, right? There's this it came up relatively recently with a discussion of Chapel Roan and whether, because there was this dumb internet discussion about whether she is a queer musician or whether she's a lesbian musician, and we're talking about fucking semantics here. She is queer, yes, but she's also very specifically a lesbian musician. The things that she sings about, things that she writes about, are her experiences as a lesbian woman coming to understand herself, coming to understand her relationships to other women. That in of itself is within the umbrella of queer, but oh yeah, very, very terminally online. And so there was this dumb, stupid discourse, mostly started by gay cis men. But I will clarify that I am not going to absolve the lesbians of this one either. Where gay cis men were basically hoping to find a way to somehow claim Chapel Roan, right? She wasn't the same as the big name divas like Gaga and, you know, Madge and all this stuff. Sure, but like they wanted to piece the pie, I guess. Sit down, shut up, not your turn. But also lesbians got a little weird with it, and where they got weird in particular was, you know, I ended up on this TikTok that was responding to this controversy in a constructive way, but it was in the comments that things fell apart. And I cannot for the life of me remember the original essay where the author coined the term compulsory heterosexuality. Yes, okay, Adrienne Rich, 1980 essay, Compulsory Heterosexuality and Lesbian Existence. So it is very much a term that is claimed by lesbians, specifically because it was written by a rad femme lesbian. And while I understand that, I also push back on the assumption by some of these current rad femme lesbians that the only way to experience compulsory, like that compulsory heterosexuality, or comphet for short, is a distinctly lesbian experience. And I point to my own experience as an example of no, compulsory heterosexuality is kind of the universal undergirding of the queer community as a whole. It is the reason why we have a community. It is this feeling that we must display a compulsory cisgender heterosexuality outward appearance, no matter what. It is that feeling that we have that we then have to subvert at some point in order to understand our queerness. And the idea that it is exclusive to lesbians is just like, no. I'm not going to say that everyone experiences compulsory heterosexuality in the same way, because the point that this commenter was trying to make was essentially that patriarchy changes how compulsory heterosexuality is experienced. And I'm not going to pretend that that's not true. It is very much true. You know, the way that a lesbian woman experiences compulsory heterosexuality is going to be very different than a gay man will experience compulsory heterosexuality. That being said, my own experiences, like, it was there. I had every advantage given to me on a silver platter. I was given extensive queer education and still felt the need to pretend to be straight, to pretend to be cis for such a long time. And it took so long to start breaking those barriers down no matter what. And that right there is what makes us a community. God damn it. So I get pissed off when other people like that pop up into anything. Doesn't matter what, you know, whether it's Twitter, TikTok, I don't fucking care. And start spouting off nonsense about how, well, this is just a lesbian thing. I'm like, no. This is a community thing. And you need to start feeling a little bit more of that community thing. Otherwise, you know, whole join or die flag comes to mind. We are not free until all of us are free. Clock it. Anyway. I mean, that's the thing. When it goes too deep into theory and semantics, it gets complicated, it gets messy. And speaking as a librarian, okay, where I have formal training in a field literally known as the organization of information, right? Where my job on some level is to learn and to know how to navigate and categorize, navigate categories and categorize information in particular ways. It is a distinctly human trait of ours to want to segment things into very neat boxes. We like organization. It looks nice. It feels nice. It makes things feel useful, you know? But you then have to ask, and this is where the formal training comes in, like, yes, you can organize things, but why are you organizing them? In what context are you organizing them? Does that actually increase the value of what you are organizing, or are you doing it for the sake of organizing it? Because if you're doing it for the sake of organizing it, there's no reason. That's extra work that you don't need to do. It literally doesn't add anything to it. Doesn't add any value to the information that you're looking at. It doesn't add any utility to it. But it's a very contextual thing in that, you know, I like putting it this way, you know, say you are the sole librarian whose job it is to run the entire library of this little branch library in an academic environment, okay? So we're talking about like a school's library, you know, where like the music school might have a library, or the theology school, or the science school, right? We're talking about that, right? I like to put it this way. Let's say you are a librarian for the international languages, or the international diplomacy school. That's not the right word that I'm looking for. International relations. There it is. You're in the international relations library, right? The entire focus of your library is to support the School of International Relations. And you're given a book on music in China, okay? How do you categorize it? How do you catalog it so that it makes sense in your collection? Because if you were in a music library, it would make sense to put it with other books about world music. In that case, it would be ML, I want to say 3,500, somewhere in there. A little higher than that, maybe. I might be lowballing that. my immediate knowledge of the Library of Congress system is not as sharp as a cataloger would be. I'm an instruction librarian, so don't clock me on this. But you would put it in the ML section, ML for music literature in this particular case, under the Library of Congress system, which works for academic institutions. But you're in an international relations library. Your school focuses not on music, but it focuses on international relations, and it's a book about music in China, right? That's not necessarily going to work best if you put it under an ML. It might be the only ML in your collection because your international relations, I don't remember what that one is for all, because again, I'm just a music librarian as well. So I don't know much beyond ML, MT, and M. But you're not going to catalog it under an ML if it makes more sense to put it with other books on international cultures. You want to put it in the realm of culture of China rather than music of international cultures, right? That's kind of the point that I'm trying to make. There are multiple categories that it fits into, and you cannot describe one that will be universal because it is completely contextual. And in the same way, we human beings love to organize things, and that filters down into wanting to organize and have a label for everyone's identity, everyone's sexuality, everyone's state of being and how they relate. And we want that so that we can mentally put ourselves into categories that we can then feel camaraderie with, that we can feel some kind of connection with. Instead of understanding that we're talking about a pretty broad category, people want to keep making that category smaller and smaller and smaller, right? And that is kind of the bonus part of the internet, the good part of the internet that has come for the queer community is an exposure to people who otherwise would not have any community at all. They now have access to an online community at the very least. It's not quite the same as an in-person community and in-person support, but it allows them to see a much broader swath of experience and potentially relate. However, it has the flip side of then allowing people to create those increasingly granular and smaller categories that they themselves fit into, and wanting to exclude others from that category in some form or fashion. It's, you know, it just bothers me, especially looking at my own experience. Like, I can't expect, let's circle back to religion, right? Again, I have like the not Irish Catholic upbringing, but I live in New England. So many people, especially queer people, have a Catholic upbringing of some kind. The number of times that when I talk to a random gay guy and find out that they were an altar boy at their, local church, and they hear my name and expect me to have a very similar experience, and I don't. It's a little off-putting for a few seconds, right? Not necessarily for me, I'll admit. It's more like I can see the disappointment in their face because they can't feel that immediate relationship. And what happens online is that people focus on that feeling right there, which really truly happens in a small millisecond of thing, because then what happens beyond that point is I will make another connection, because that's not the only one I have. I, yes, am not Catholic. I do not have a Catholic upbringing. I am not Catholic, but I am still gay, and we can still have a connection because of that. I still struggle to come out. I still have these experiences that I can talk about, and it cascades downward even to generations that don't have the same issues that, my generation, our generation has had to, I don't know. It's just, there's a point where the granularity of identity is no longer useful and does not serve any utility. And being in the position that I am in from a professional standpoint, I can very clearly point out when this is no longer necessary. You know, I even kind of somewhat point to in some ways, a great example is actually in some of the parties that I've seen around the Boston area. There are plenty for gay cis men, plenty. But at the same time, you know, if me looking at like this, beard, chest hair, all this stuff, show up to a circuit party, I'm going to feel isolated. I'm not going to feel that kind of connection and that kind of camaraderie that I'm looking for, because I will be surrounded by people who trade in the currency of a specific kind of beauty standard, which does not value facial hair, body hair more than, you know, a single pack stomach, we'll call it. You know, and beyond the trans attributes that I now express, there's a lot about my body that these people are not going to care for or care about, and I'm going to have that struggle, right? So I fit better in something like the bear community, but it's rather interesting that the bear community can be in of itself exclusionary sometimes, but is not exclusionary as one might think. When one thinks of a bear, a gay, cisgender, we'll say white, male bear, one is thinking of beard, lots of hair, heavier set. Those three things especially. But the bear community has made it very clear that those three things, together, alone, doesn't matter, do not necessarily apply to those who are welcome, right? There are people who are heavier set but have no hair and no facial hair. There are people who have facial hair but are not heavier set. You know, there's a mixing of how things work. It's basically just people who don't fit the beauty standard of this other group, everyone else. And in some ways, I kind of noticed the same kind of thing happening on a kind of larger level, where you have a lot of parties that are geared towards gay cis men or gay men, you know, if they're more inclusive and including of trans men. And then we have a bar that is still on the cusp of opening. God, I hope they open soon, called Danny's Queer Bar, which initially seemed to be pitched as a lesbian bar, but is now actually being pitched as more of a queer bar, and more pointedly toward gay cis men as, you are now the guests here. This is for everyone who doesn't normally get a bar space, who doesn't normally get that kind of safe space of expression. So we're talking trans masc, sure, but also trans femmes. We're talking lesbians of all types. We're talking about bisexual people who generally get kind of ignored in some other way. Like, great space. I love that. And it's kind of filling gaps that are otherwise there. And so in that kind of case, we're talking two categories, right? In terms of utility, we're talking about gay cis men and everyone else, as kind of reductive as that is, because the experience of a trans masc person is not going to be the same as the experience of a lesbian femme, right? But in terms of finding a space to feel safe and secure and connected to community, that's a similar experience in this case, because they're not necessarily welcome in the gay male space. So there's that there, right? Contextual categories. Going even further into that, like, there is a new party. There's a party that I missed last night, actually. I had tickets to go, wasn't going ultimately because it just did not feel like it. That is kind of a kink-centric, gay male-centric sort of party. It's fun, and it's not just gay men, I will say. It is a very diverse crowd. I'm very happy about that. But the overwhelming majority of people who go are gay cis men. There is another party that will be starting in September that is specifically T4T, trans for trans. And the fact that it's advertised that way means that it's going to be focusing more on the trans experience more than any others. And in some ways, it'll be like, okay, cisgender people, you are welcome to join us, but you are guests in this space. And again, so we're talking about kind of a contextual category, because again, my experience as a assigned male at birth, transgender, non-binary man is not the same as someone who is a female to male trans man or a trans femme non-binary person. There's a lot of variation within that category, but that broader category still contextually is creating a safe space that is separated away from these other ones that have already been established, that while may accept them to some degree, will not feel as safe, as secure, as welcoming. And I understand the feeling and want to keep reducing that downward until you have your group that feels like, oh, I'm like everyone around me has the same experience. But then you're talking about a level of granularity that will essentially mean you have a category of one. Because then that's getting into the, you are a unique person, you are informed by your experiences, and there's no way that anyone can replicate your exact experiences. You can reduce that category as much as you like, but at a certain point you are going to run out of peers. And at that point, you will no longer have connection, you'll just have a category. Congratulations, you found a label? That label of that category doesn't have power unless it has some kind of connection and community behind it. And it's one of the reasons why especially when I'm talking to straight, heteronormative cisgender people, even a lot of gay and lesbian folks that are maybe a little less advanced in the gender and sexual theory side of things, I guess I should say, than those of us who are forced to reckon with that side a lot more, or our sexual identity or gender identity. I just say queer. I just say queer. It's very broad, but I feel a certain deep affinity with butch lesbians, lipstick lesbians, trans femme, full passing trans people, gay cis men. I do kind of not like the circuits for the most part, but that's just me. I just don't like the parties. I don't like the attitude, but I recognize that they had a difficult journey to get there as well. And you know what? If you guys want to party in Ibiza next week, go ahead. Just don't make me come with you. Anyway, that was a very long rant. We're now almost at midnight. Oops. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Hopefully, on Thursday, streaming will go a little smoother this time and we won't end so late. Maybe I won't go on quite so many tangents. I will say, like I mentioned, I had a rough day today. It was mostly a rough mental day. As I like to say, a bad brain day. The kitchen sink kind of day where all of the bad stuff that's been happening in my life has kind of caught up and I can no longer pretend that it's all good and fine and everything. Some good things did happen today and I got some stuff done and I do feel accomplished, but I was ready to give up streaming today earlier when I was running into issue after issue after issue. And the fact that I got to do that, and even though we didn't play a lot of the game, instead I went on tangents about traveling and religion and music and queerness and the nature of it and theory of it, that felt restorative. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So I'm very happy that we got to have this time together. Thank you so much for joining me. And a hype train, no less. You're right. You're right. Oh my god. So yeah, thank you all again. Have a wonderful night. I will see you all on Thursday. I hope things will go smoothly that time, more smoothly that time. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Take care, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye now. Mwah.